Holy moly, AMC stock is down about 34% at the time of recording this video. What is going on, and what do you need to know as an investor in this company? Ultimately, what's going to happen? Is this a good time to buy? Is it not? We're going to break it down. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. I know you guys got some questions, comments, something to provide down below in the comment section after this 34% drop. So first thing I want to start with is what's going on today. This article says AMC shares slide 20% after theater chain announces plan to sell additional stock. AMC was widely expected to sell additional shares after the successful conversion of the preferred APE shares into common stock in August. It says AMC stock in the filing said it will sell the new shares through an at-the-market offering without a specific time frame. Citigroup, Barclays, B. Riley Securities, and Goldman Sachs are listed as sales agents in the filing. Now, when this news came out, AMC stock was around $11 per share. They're going to issue 40 million new shares to raise cash. Couple things to know here. AMC stock has already fallen. Let's see. From the conversion till now, about 73%. So you have about 50 odd million shares outstanding. That's about 80% dilution. About the same equivalent to what AMC has dropped already. So you've already, in a weird way, already priced this in, especially with this drop that we're seeing today. So I wouldn't expect any more crazy big downside from here, since you've roughly already priced in the 80% dilution. The stock's roughly fallen about 80%. Sure, could you be volatile and move up or down? Sure, of course. But you've already priced it in. Now, let's just see what kind of cash AMC will be able to raise from this. And I'm sure this 34% drop today is AMC raising capital. Let me establish that as well. I don't think this 34% drop is on top of AMC selling 40 million shares. No, they've nuked the stock today, and they've already raised capital. So, in my personal opinion, so we times $10 by 40 million, that's 400 million in capital. Now, one could argue that it's just not even worth it at these prices, which really makes you question the leadership of AMC. And I usually don't question the leadership of AMC, but right now I have to, because I get it. If you want to raise capital at $20 per share, $30 per share, or even what Eric Wold from, coincidentally, B. Riley Securities gave AMC's price target yesterday of $45 per share. If you want to raise capital at those prices, I understand that, because the same capital raise at $30 per share is $1.2 billion in capital. Sure, you nuke the stock 80% at that point, fine. You just raised $1.2 billion in capital. I get it. A little bit more than today. You nuke the stock 80% to raise $400 million. But that just doesn't make too much sense to me. Okay? So, couple things. This situation is hard to kind of see exactly where we are as far as a short squeeze, because the data providers that we have right now are not accurate. We're getting an estimated 10.19% short interest of free float. Now, I think what we have seen recently, and we are also seeing today, is a shorting attack on AMC stock. I think that's pretty clear. As well as AMC raising shares, you're also seeing a shorting attack. Okay? So the short interest at 10% makes absolutely no sense to me, considering the official short interest report, again, that we got on August 15th. You had 29.24% short interest of free float. Short interest is probably around 50%. Could be higher than that. Could be a shy bit lower than that. But around 50%. Now, what this is going to do is if AMC raises 40 million shares, unfortunately, it will bring down the short interest by about 80% as well. So if the short interest is around 50%, it's going to bring that short interest down quite a bit as well. Odds are the short interest could be higher than that. And usually what happens when companies issue shares, they just get bought up, essentially shorted by hedge funds anyways. So I don't think in the following days or even weeks it will affect or drop the short interest that much. But initially it could. But by the time you even know about it, the short interest is likely going to be recovered at that point, right? Because shorts are obviously shorting the shit out of AMC stock today. So if that didn't make sense to you at all, just know short interest is a lot higher than where it is today, at least the estimate of 10%. Likely, even after this capital raise, in the mid-30s to 40% level. I think it could be, 50, 60% as of today. So keep that in mind. And likely another conclusion obviously we can draw is AMC is raising capital today. That's what this kind of drop is as well. AMC has started to raise capital. Now, let's take a look at some of the option activity. So, you've definitely switched here from what we have seen in the start of this week so far. The start of this week, you had almost a 1-to-1 ratio from calls in the money and puts in the money. That's not the case anymore. Calls in the money, 12,908. Calls out the money at 96,377. Puts in the money, 134,779. Puts out the money, 17,151. Now, usually after a 34% odd fall in any given day, you'll tend to see a bounce back. We'll see what kind of bounce back we see, if we do see one at all. I know $400 million of capital being raised for 80% dilution does not sound very advantageous. It does not sound like the leadership of AMC is doing a good job. It sounds like they're doing a very poor job to me. I mean, this is actually pretty frustrating, guys. And I usually don't question AMC's leadership all too much, but they are doing something wrong here. They're just not operating the business as they should, right? You drive up the share price at least before you issue capital. That's like, management 101 right there. I don't know if they need to be coached or what. They probably could benefit from having a coach on the board of AMC. So that's kind of my take on it. Now, as far as the FTD situation, let's go ahead and take a look. AMC stock apparently is no longer on the threshold securities list. This is kind of an aggregate, right? This is kind of like a running number. So to be on the threshold securities list, I believe it's 0.5% of the float sold short every day for 15 days. So when you fall off of that, you can go off the threshold securities list. That does not mean FTDs are still not needing to be covered. It just means that maybe today you're not seeing 0.5% of the float being in FTDs. Now, what we're actually seeing today as far as the FTD numbers is around 4.2 million. And you're going to continue to see millions of FTDs every single day. So this should continue to be to a benefit of AMC. It should help rather than hurt, because this is an anti-dilutive kind of thing here, right? Failure to deliver just means there's more shares out there in the float that otherwise should be. So they're just getting bought back, which will reduce the float a little bit. Now let's run through some of the Ortex numbers, and then I want to go over some of the technicals and what I would do with my position right now. So you guys got to keep this in mind. These numbers are not true, but I like to go over them because why stop now? We've been doing it for 2 years every single day, literally 365 days a year. We made videos on Christmas, on Halloween, on Thanksgiving, at least one video a day, right? So I don't want to stop that now, even though the numbers are not true. Live short interest of free float at 10.17%. 16.04 million shares currently sold short. Cost to borrow average 6.09%. Cost to borrow max 70.67%. Cost to borrow minimum 0.74%. The daily short interest, $206 million worth of short positions in AMC stock, short score of 65, 9.56% estimated short interest of free float out on loan 11.22%, shares out on loan 17.71 million, days to cover 2.45%, 2.45, cost to borrow 8.32, utilization 51.72. So these numbers are not true. Take that with a big grain of salt. I believe when we get the official short interest report, which should come out around September 9th. So today is the 6th. September 9th is going to be Saturday. So it might be the 12th, which is next week on Tuesday. That's where the data should refresh. And you should get a better picture of kind of what is going on today, the actual numbers on what they look like. So there is that. Let's get into some of the actual charts here. So AMC stock is now in the $8.97 at the time of recording this video. I think $9 per share is going to be a sticky level, and I think you're going to get a lot of support around that level. Could be wrong. Obviously, the stock could fall lower, but I think $10 per share is probably where the stock is going to settle out as. Now, if you are a savvy investor, I really like the options here with some longer dated options as well as even buying the shares at this point, because odds are the stock will bounce after this capital raise is fully done. And especially with some of those options, once we do get the official short interest report coming out, the short interest is going to be a lot higher, and that could make a lot of people excited about AMC and a potential short squeeze. If you get a 50% short interest reading, obviously that's going to do a lot for psyches. That's going to do a lot for as far as an actual short squeeze, right? But if you don't want to buy AMC, I totally understand. There's nothing wrong with just waiting this out, seeing what happens, and waiting to buy, some leverage positions like options, or even waiting to buy some shares to see where the situation levels out at. With a management team of AMC that is just blatantly ignorant to common management practices, it's hard to tell what they're going to do, right? Like, again, they should not be issuing 80% of the flow after the stock has fallen 80%. So the management is wrong here, and I totally understand if you don't want to be a part of this trade anymore, or you don't want to buy any more as of right now. I totally understand that. And there's nothing wrong with either of those. You really have to come to your own conclusions and do what is best for you and your family. I always suggest that you have a long-term portfolio, that you look at AMC as a trade, not a sure thing. Buy some PayPal, buy some Fubo, buy some Crocs, buy some SoFi, buy some Tesla. Those are all in my portfolio as well, and I would never tell you to not do that. But this does look like a good opportunity for an advantageous kind of savvy investor to step in here. Like Warren Buffett said, buy low, sell high. Stocks are the only kind of sale that nobody shows up for, right? And there's many other quotes along this same line. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. Obviously, that's one you guys have heard many times before as well. And I think that fits perfectly into what we are seeing right now with AMC. If you look at the RSI, severely oversold. The MACD, the most bearish you have been in a very, very long time. So I think that's pretty clear. I don't even know if I really had to say that. But if you're going to buy the stock, you might as well do it when it's hitting lows. That's at least my personal kind of logic. Or you wait until there's a confirmed uptrend. Either one of those strategies tends to work pretty well. So that is going to do it for this video. And last thing I want to say, actually, you've gotten the dilution out the way. Hopefully we won't get dilution for a while. So that overarching fear of at some point we're going to get dilution should be gone after today. With that being said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. If you guys want to come join the private trading community, private trading group, link down below in the description of this video. We're talking about what's happening with AMC stock right now. People are giving their own opinions. If you guys want to join it, link down below in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.